ML Sports Take here, brought to you by Elevate Fitness of Syracuse and St. Bonaventure University's online masters in journalism. Get it all done in under 2 years. Find out more at sbujournalism.com. So the Bonnies lose to the Tar Heels of North Carolina 85-70, and this was, outmanned, out-talented, out-rebounded, out-everything, right? I mean, a double-digit win for North Carolina. And I know that right out of the chute, somebody's going to think, what do you mean? It was only a 2-point game at the half and da-da-da. That's where I want to start. I made mention in my preview about you can't have the little things go wrong in bunches if you're going to keep up with Carolina. And I just felt like in the first half, there were so many possessions that St. Bonaventure they let get away offensively. Mid-range jump shots open. A turnover here, a turnover there. They only had 9 of them in the game. A tip ball here, a tip ball there. I mean, there's 2 players going to the sideline, and it goes out of bounds. Like, those little things. I'm not saying every one of them has to be in your favor. Or you get a quick, 2 guys draw defensively, Carolina, a pop shot to the corner. It's wide open. Not saying you have to make every shot here. But when they're wide open, and again, I know it's hard. You still have to shoot it and make it and this and that, but it's a 3-point world. When you're wide open, that wide open against Carolina, like, you got to cash in on some of these. Like, if you take 5 to 7 or 8 of those plays, you got to nail 4 to 6 of them, right? And the Bonnies had so many of those that they just couldn't get in the first half. They couldn't close where I thought they needed that cushion. Like, if they were only down 2 at the half, if they get, 6 to 8 more of those over the course of the half or over chunks of time, they get 4 to 6 of those. Maybe they're up 8 and they can play the averages down the line because Carolina's going to rebound. They're going to, Caleb Wilson's going to be unbeatable. You look at stretches of this game, you're down 15-5, you come crawling back. I mean, that was another thing. I mean, you're playing golf against Carolina and it's double bogey to start your round, basically the entire time. And I know Carolina's backups and all that stuff. I get it. But then you're down 17-10 again. I mean, think about the stretches where you're down 9, 10, 11, you're down 21-10, you're down 23-12. I mean, how many times can you come back from double digits against North Carolina, a Final Four contender? Well, then they tie it. That Mitchell layup was terrific, 28-28. And then, Bonnie battles back and forth. But again, in that last 5-minute stretch where it's 30-30, you had, Mitchell misses a layup. And then, you had a missed 3, and you have a 3-point shot missed by Simmons. And the offense looks like it's flowing and they're doing some things, but they can't really score. And it's 32-30 Carolina. And then Mitchell makes the tip shot and it's 32-32, but then the Evans 3, and there's still a minute and a half left in this game, in this half, and then Simmons turns it over, right? And Simmons gets a steal, but then Andrew misses the layup. So it's like, and then he comes back and it's a free throw out of 1 of 2, but like, it's that 5-minute stretch of all those different things that I talked about. And even a couple plays earlier in the half where Bonaventure just could not execute. They couldn't convert in order to get like 5 extra points, 6 or 7 extra points. And in the second half, that the 6'10 Carolina guys, the 6'8 Carolina guys, the 4-star guys, the 5-star guys, Caleb Wilson, arguably the best freshman in America. Like, these guys are going to come at you in waves and bunches. And, even though it was like a 6-point game, 7-point game after the Wilson free throws, right? Like, Besser makes the big dunk. It's a 9-point game, and they go back and forth. It's a 6-point game, and you're just kind of waiting. And then it's 9 again. Stevenson makes that 2-point tip shot, and it becomes 13. And you're like, how many times can the Bonnies come back from this thing? So, it became double digits. Too much to come back from in this game. And I thought, even if the Bonnies did convert 5 to 7 more plays in the first half, do they win this game? Probably not. But I think that they would have been able to hang in there more in the second half. Less of a wear down, less pressure, less pressing, offensively. As far as guys who looked pretty good, again, this was a tough game for Grahovic. I mean, I don't know where his spot is right now on this team. Is he going to start 12 minutes and then out? I mean, he had no points. He's no factor. He's too slow. I'm not surprised by it. Mark uses 5 guys off the bench, had to use a little Lenati in there as well. Obviously, Simmons and Mitchell, to me, up to this point, even though Charles is sort of like the box checker, and I did a video on him last week in terms of how good he's been, just plug him in, any situation. He's a starter, obviously, I understand that. But, even tonight he gets 6 rebounds and 3 steals against a really quality club. But it seems like, to me, 40 points from Mitchell and from Simmons together, and they shot well. Those 2 guys, to me, seem like they're the 2 best players on the Bonnies at this point of the season. Again, not the end of the world that you lost to Carolina, but, the second half was just so difficult to watch. The 2-point game at the half, I was like, yeah, but come on now. You know what's going to happen in the second half. And then Carolina, they had 40 rebounds, to Bonaventure's 31. They made 8 threes on 18 attempts. They were incredibly, incredibly effective from the floor. 51%. Just an efficient club. They had 5 blocks, and then you look at the point total, and, you're getting 20 and 12 out of Caleb Wilson, which is basically his season average, and I talked about him earlier. Just a tremendous player. And, it's hard to keep these guys down. It's hard to keep the forwards, the athletic, lengthy, just the big, strong, lean, talented, ultra-talented forwards. And their guards can fly too. We know Carolina wants to push tempo. They're going to score in the upper 80s. They've always had great forwards. They've always had great players at every position. But I talked about in the pregame, like, the forward guys, really have just been long, lean, great, up and down, inside, outside. Sean May, Tyler Hansborough, right? Like Wallace, Stackhouse, all these different guys. Stackhouse was technically a 2, I guess, but he could play a little 3. They just had these guys, these like Harrison Barnes, all these players who can just, forwards who can just get it done. Long, lean, strong, big, talent level through the roof. And I think this team is the same way. I think they're built the same way, and they can stretch the floor. And in a positionless basketball that we have today at all levels, Carolina just fits the bill all the time. So, credit them. They're a great team. And Bonaventure, I guess, learn from it, I guess, and you go from there. But they're gonna have some problems against these athletic clubs. They are. These athletic, long, lean, speedy teams, and we've already seen mid-major teams they've played. Bradley, Siena, Youngstown. I don't know where Grahovic's spot is right now. Do you play him for the 12-15 and see if he can get going? Do you try to utilize him as a kind of an off-ball nail a 3 and get some momentum and stretch the D and then pull him out? I don't know where, because of his lack of creating a shot and his slowness on defense. It's just awfully hard for him to get in there against these fast teams and stay in there. So next up's East Carolina. It's Thursday, and hopefully you can go win that game. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left until the A10. They play Lemoyne on the 20th of December. I wish that game was in Central New York, actually. But it's gonna be interesting to watch this club, for the next few weeks here, to see how they kind of respond to this Carolina game. But did they do the best they could? I guess you could make that argument, but I would have liked to have seen 5 to 7 possessions, really executed when you could have had it, right? Like, it wasn't like a Carolina blanket defense situation. It wasn't a play made. It was, your mid-range shot, you created something, or a ball goes out of bounds, or like those little things I talked about. Again, maybe they lose 85-74 instead, or 85-77 or whatever, but those first half possessions, everyone counts when you play a team like the Tar Heels. ML Sports Take here, brought to you by our good friends at Elevate Fitness of Syracuse. Get your membership if you're in and around Central New York. Plus, St. Bonaventure University's online master's in journalism. Get yours at sbujournalism.com and check out options, fill out the guide, and a heck of a lot more. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel as well at ML Sports Platter. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.